Like I relate to him so much. It's super. You're good, bro. Like it's so weird, bro. Like, damn, that's like for me, imagining Frank Ocean talking to me like that, bro. I think I'd cry. Like a piece of my heart would just break.
Yeah, yeah, it's super fucked up.
Like, I think what I didn't appreciate about the whole Joe thing was like after it happened. Like I'm a big fan of the Joe Budden podcast. You can probably tell because I'm like talking about Marissa and Rory the early days. Yeah. But like one of the things I didn't like about Joe's reaction to the whole Mal and Rory like beef was the fans told Joe how they felt about it, which was that fucked up. Like you're being number one, a bad friend, number two, a bad businessman. Yeah. And number three, just like overall, like that's the messiest way to go about handling business. Honestly. And instead of like being like, okay, like I see y'all, you're right, I'm gonna work on whatever, or whatever you had to say, he just like he's such a narcissist that he just the whole time he wouldn't admit fault to anything. And when he did, it was almost like it's a half joke. Like I remember on the podcast, he was like, I failed y'all. That was like what he said. And then like throughout the whole podcast, he was talking to like Ish, and he was like, well, Ish, I failed you. And so he was kind of making it a joke. Like, are you serious about what you say, or are you just saying it to like make it sound like all right, I did admit to it because I said this. Didn't sound like you were serious about it.
He didn't care. Like that's the thing that hurt me, bro. It's like looking the way Joe Budden fought for because I got really hit to him during the Complex thing. I love the way he handled Amigos. I loved how strideful he was. But seeing the way he treated his day ones, because even we could argue and say, yo, Rory and Mal, they came after Joe Budden figured it out because of Marissa and everything, like episode 1, they weren't there episode 1. But it's like, who cares? They're literally the reason why Joe Budden was so coherent to anybody. Like Joe Budden would be going on a tangent, and then Rory Mal brings it back to him and be like, yeah, I feel you. You know what I mean?
And all for some of his viewpoints I don't 100% agree with. I don't want a lot of people's viewpoints. He definitely brought a dynamic to the podcast that I felt like was missing before with Marissa and Rory. And like and I get that he definitely, I could see that, he'd go on his cell phone sometimes. But he was C-Mike. Like, you only need him to chime in when he needed to chime in. So it's like, I don't know. The whole thing was messy. I really hope that doesn't happen to us. Like,
I don't see it.
Hopefully, because that shit was messy as fuck. And like, when it's time, it's time. If you like had a business relationship with somebody and it's just like it goes sour, it's like sometimes the best thing is to move on and try to. This is what I was telling the critter. Like, if shit ever went down, let's recognize that it's going down. Be like, all right, the business thing, like we made a great run, but let's just focus on being friends. Because at the end of the day, I care way more about that than the business end of things. That's what Joe was saying, but his actions were saying.
But because literally the biggest thing with Joe was literally that he treated Rory and Ma like they were disposable, like they were replaceable. And to me, the moment you start looking at people like that, that's the moment where you just lose yourself. Yeah. Because he was even talking about Rory like Rory he just met Rory like 2 years ago. Like, what the fuck, bro? You've known Ma for 10 years. Detergent. You're mad at Ma because he didn't let you use the detergent, bro. So what? Seriously. Like, come on, bro. Like have a little bit more love for your friends, bro. Yeah. Those are your guys, bro. They held him down through everything. Seriously. Everything. Joe could say anything, bro. Rory and Ma would be like, okay, we got you, bro. We're here rolling, bro. And to see that not being reciprocated is like, nah, bro. He got too ahead of himself.
Can never look at the other same again after that.
Yeah.
It's not the same for me. But bringing it back to us and who we're with, we got to introduce you. We heard a little bit from him, but let me officially introduce who we have on the pod today. So thank you for coming in person. We have MyCompiledThoughts.
Hey.
Got a new album, Letters to You, that has already come out. It's on all streaming platforms, I believe, right? I've been bumping it all day today. That shit is fire. We're going to get into it. We're going to get to know a little bit about him today. Let me quickly introduce the pod. Are you playing the music?
I'm playing the beat right now. You can't hear it.
I can't hear it. The beat's playing. Welcome to the Grindhouse Podcast. This is episode 74. Yes. I'm your host, Edwin Cabrera, aka Steady Eddie. To the right of me is my homie, my day one, Chris Martin, aka Critter.
What's up, guys? Just real quick before we get into today's episode, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps us out. Also, if you want to support us, you can buy our merch at grindhouse.store. All right, let's get into today's episode.
So as I was saying before, we got MyCompiledThoughts with us, and he's got a new album, Letters to You, that I'm really excited to talk about, man. How you been, though?
Yo, I've been chilling. Like, the album released, everything seems to be coming together. I feel like I've got a solid artistic identity after this album, and just honestly, just falling a lot more into who I am as a person. How about y'all, bro? How y'all doing, bro?
Yo, I'll say this. I've been hella busy. We've been hella busy for a long-ass week. Working like a 40-hour job and then having like a 40-hour project Work has been like draining, but it's been amazing. Like just to bring it up, we're working on the Hip Hop Wall of Fame for Lynn. So I don't know if you heard about this before. I don't know if I engaged you in this. Obviously, like we said earlier, we're from Lynn. We represent Lynn. We're big
L.
Big L. That's a new one. I never heard that called, but that we may have to adopt that. But Critter and I were working on what we call the Lynn Hip Hop Wall of Fame, which is we're trying to get the community here to really fuck with the artists in the community, because that hasn't been the greatest. Usually I feel like around Massachusetts, like they tend to wait for somebody to get famous before they really support them. So our idea to try to reverse that is to try to get people to support them earlier by creating this mural where people can actually vote for who they think are the best artists in the community, which forces people hopefully to listen to artists, debate other people about which artist is what, and kind of, uplift the whole community by engaging people in that sort of stuff. I've been hard at work at that. More will be revealed. We got a show coming up on the 25th. That should be crazy. Bunch of Lynn artists coming out, bunch of rappers. We got a cypher going. It's gonna be great. Anyway, I want to bring it back to you. Like I said, letters to you. I love it for different reasons. I think it's just maybe it's because I love it because the record is both easy listening. Like I can dance to it. I feel like my hips start to thrust a little bit to it,
groove to it.
But at the same time, I can't say it's like it's almost like it's sad a little bit, right? Like some of the stuff that you say and some of the music itself is almost like, you're talking about breakup. You're talking about like the Friend Zone is another good song. There's a lot of things that goes on over some really groovy production. So it's great. But let's start from the beginning. In terms of what got you started in music, I just got to let's set the foundation first. What really got you started as a musician before we get to the album?
The earliest memory I have as far as like being a musician or being an artist or thinking about music in any type of way was when I was in 3rd grade. There was my friend called Brian Davis during recess. When we're outside, we're all chilling, everybody's chilling. All I remember is like every day during recess, I'd be out there with him going, yo, bro, listen to this. Boom, boom, ka, boom, 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 ka. Like I legitimately doing beatboxes. And like, fun fact about me is that like I wasn't really exposed to music in a weird sense to say. Like, I wasn't exposed to music. I grew up in a really sheltered household. So like, I wasn't exposed to no hip hop, no R&B, no nothing. It was straight religious Creole Haitian music, bro. I swear to God. Till I was like 13, 12 maybe.
Wow, that's you're almost a late bloomer when it comes to that. Then, damn.
Honestly, bro, like I like to say I'm a late bloomer in a lot of aspects of my life. In terms of my identity, in terms of socializing. Like it really took me. It really took me a long time to socialize with other kids in general, because like. Usually kids socialize, like especially boys socialize around the age of 4. Me, on the other hand, I was still kicking and biting and scratching till like 6 or 7, bro. I was one of those kids, super hyperactive, just super out there with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, 3rd grade, I was over there just like beatboxing. And then like I got in the church choir. So I was singing the church choir. I remember like I got my first solo over there. They loved my voice. I was like, yay. You know what I mean? And then like, it just kept on going up from there. And like, I just like grew up super religious. So I never thought music was something that I could actually pursue.
So what was that moment where, one, that you started discovering music, like you started having an attachment to music? And then 2, when did you start like officially making music? Not as a professional just yet, but just like experimenting with music. What were those ages and what was going on?
So for me, I want to say like another memory is literally, fun fact, I literally work in memories, bro. I have like little phases. So it's like
MyCompiledThoughts, as they say.
Yeah, like random thoughts just pop up in my head. Like so the first time I could think about was listening to Frank Ocean. You know what I mean? Like that's like probably one of my biggest influence, one of my favorite guys in the world, because like he exposed me to like a different aspect of the world that I was never exposed to. Not just musically, but just like thinking wise, like MyCompiledThoughts. I mean, my bad. Frank Ocean is a guy that like introduced me to like one of my first philosophical ideas, which was if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does a tree go boom? Which is like one of the very first. I forget. It's one of the lines on one of his like on one of his projects or one of his songs. But that was the first question I ever thought. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, bro, does a tree go boom? And I literally be there with my friends. I'm like, bro, like, if we're there, like, we're not there. It technically doesn't make any noise. But nonetheless, it does. You know what I mean? Because there's something that has to receive it. For you to internalize another sound, you have to be there. You have to be present.
There has to be a receiver, right?
Yeah, there has to be. Yeah. So basically, like, that's it. Like, listening to Frank Ocean's Thinking About You really got me started on my musical advent, being like, okay. And then, like, further along the lines, I met one of my friends, or a mentor of mine along the way. His name was Khalil. He went by Chosen after a while, and he was like, bro, you could really do this. Like, you could sort of sing, bro. Like, you might as well do it. He gave me like a bunch of books, Think and Grow Rich, like The Alchemist, like different books that would like enlighten anybody that reads them and tell them that it's possible. And basically, he helped me along my journey into like discovering that.
How'd you like come up with My Compiled Thoughts? Like, because I feel like that name alone like just stands out.
Yeah. Hey. So yeah, Party Next Door, another one of my influences. Like, you see the three word meaning, but it's like, for me, it's like I remember Frank Ocean was like, I don't really remember why Frank Ocean said he made his name Frank Ocean, but when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, my compiled thoughts. I'm trying to figure out I've always been trying to figure out how do I compile my thoughts, because I have ADHD. So it's like, how do you encapsulate everything that happens in your head, and how do you align that with yourself? And so basically, I was like, oh shit, Party Next Door did Party Next Door. My compiled thoughts, I might as well make that my actual journey. You know what I mean? So like, my name is just based on the encapsulation of my artistic mission.
I like that, because I feel like My Compiled Thoughts as a name is interesting, because it lets us know who you are almost, or it gives us an insight of who you are and your personality in the phrase. And so that's kind of, I don't know if it's new per se, but I feel like it's refreshing when you hear somebody's name is actually a phrase that represents who they are. So I fuck with it on that level, because like when I read that name, My Compiled Thoughts, I don't think I knew you at the time or listened to your music. I think it was because I knew Dame and whatever. I came across My Compiled Thoughts before I played the music. And I was like, I already know what I'm getting into before I even hit the play button, because it's just, I know I'm going to get something that's probably a little bit more surreal, a little bit more experimental, hopefully soulful. And that's exactly what your music is. It's all of those things.
Shit. That means a lot to me. Y'all look great. Like it really means a lot to be discovered and be embraced. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that like, a lot of people don't have access to, you know what I mean? Especially like for me, it's like My Compiled Thoughts also represents the idea of like encapsulating everything. Because when you compile, it's like the idea of like, how do you get everybody to be warm in your embrace? You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I want to be as a person. Like, I want to be warm. Like, I feel like like we were talking earlier, being in Boston is very hard to be warm. Because, like, a lot of people are very cold. It's like, you go on the subway, bro, everybody's doing their best to act like you don't exist. You walk down the street, bro, it's like, bro, am I in front of you? Am I present? Am I here with you? So it's like, how do I, as a person, how do I make it so that, like, when you meet me or when you interact with me, like, you feel my warm embrace, my compiling. You know what I mean? That you're not just, like, a moment, that you officially are a part of me. You feel me?
It's funny that you mentioned like the train thing, and like we were over recently on the train, and it was awful. It was like there was these dudes like aggressively screaming, and we're like,
"Let's go Red Sox!"
Like, and then just getting mad that no one else is reciprocating. Like, it was so annoying, and we're just like,
"Fuck you guys!"
Like, that's what I'm saying though. Like, life is so short. But I feel like it's super weird having this culture nowadays where like everybody's doing their best to like separate. You know, especially you saw the heightened state of that during the beginning of the pandemic. It's like everybody was doing their best to just take care of like the 3 people they knew, versus like everybody being like, you know what, we're all here together. How do we make it so we survive this together? You know what I mean? And I think that like the moment an empire starts like thinking like that, it's like on its decline. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. So I wanna be the opposite of that. I wanna make music that isn't as, cause like I make like a few of the songs are super cold. Like, I used to make really cold music, especially because of the phase I was in. Like, it's hard to differentiate between like the warm and the cold. You know what I mean? But like nowadays, like I really want to make music that, even if it's not like lyrically and lyrically like the brightest song, I want it to feel warm. You know what I mean?
I feel like you captured that with Letters to You.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yay.
Absolutely. That's great because that's what I got from it. And also just in terms of your personality, to speaking about warmth, I feel like one of the best things about you from the few times that I've met you, I remember the first time I think I met you was Damien's was working on a film called We Were Friends, and you came to Lynn, and you just had, I remember seeing you had this like big smile and this like relentless positivity, and I was like, whoever that guy is, like, it just stands out wherever, whatever rooms he walks into, is just that energy kind of just stands out. So I gotta ask, before we get to the album, is like, where does that relentless positivity come from?
Like, for me, I always have like an issue with the relentless positivity aspect of it, because like sometimes when people hear that, like they get my aura mixed up, you know what I mean? Because like it comes off like very like uni, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, he's always happy, oh shit. But it's like for me, like the idea of positivity is more so for me along the lines of, yo, you gotta be here, you know what I mean? Like life is very simple. Like I find like since high school, you know what I mean? Like very young, like I've always been the kid that's been like going through shit, but always been doing his best to like make it so that like life doesn't shake him. Cause like it's really easy to be like mask on, you know what I mean, straight through. But like I feel like the one impression you could leave anybody with, even if you're a dick, even if you say the worst thing, even if you fuck up in a conversation, even if you're awkward, is your smile, you know what I mean? It's like very open, very warm. And so like for me, like I was saying, it's literally just a matter of just being present, trying to be there for everybody, trying to be open and just saying fuck it. Cause at the end of the day, bro, when you stare death in his eyes long enough, bro, you go, bro, what can you do to me?
You know what else I love about that is the fact that, especially when you grow up and you see shit and you come from a place where everybody else is kind of in that like just in the mud, like smiling almost, especially when you're around like people who consider themselves like tough people. It's like you can't be smiling in front of certain people. It's like, what are you smiling about? You were talking about Joe earlier, like the whole thing with Joe. No, no happy niggas immediately rejects you. It's like some people like literally reject any sort of positivity or happy energy. So I love that you go on the other way. It's like, obviously I don't think that you're happy 100% all the time.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic, but I know like you bring a certain energy that rubs off on people, and I appreciate the fact that you understand that dynamic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it like the hardest thing for me to learn was like how to make it so that like it wasn't so positive. Because especially like being introduced to a scene, like I remember like when I first like started making music and meeting all these artists, everybody was like, yo, bro, why are you so happy, bro? Like, what's going on, dude? Like, you're plotting on me. You're very fake. You can't really be like this. And it's like I like you have to like learn, because like you had to learn to like sort of like add a lot of dirt to it, you know what I mean? How do you make it so that like even though you're positive that you have like an edge, you know what I mean? That it's not just like full on positive, because that's nauseating. Yeah. Full on anything's nauseating, you know what I mean? Like full on negativity, like the guy that's always in the corner like nauseating, the guy that's like nauseating. So it's like my like recent years have always been like, how do I balance that out? How do I make it, you know what I mean? How do I make it more digestible?
Word.
That's dope. I hope that obviously it seems like you're going through that journey pretty great, but people can learn from that.
Hey,
Yeah, definitely can learn from that.
So let's talk about Letters to You. First of all, as I said earlier, amazing work. Because my thing, if I'm being honest, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong here, it's so hard to find like R&B in general, but like amazing R&B with like a new twist to it. Like I said earlier, you have R&B, you're very soulful, but also you have a lot of like it's something I want to groove to. You know what I'm saying? I'm not usually the kind of person that's grooving or moving. I kind of like to like kind of hang and do a little dance move. But you're literally my hips. When I listen to your music, they move. So, can you talk a little bit about just the production of it? Like, what were you trying to capture that, or what were you trying to capture?
So, with this album, basically, the whole idea behind the album is literally different songs to different girls. It's like the very essential plane. So, my biggest thing is I love to use the idea of women to like basically understand who I am as a person. It's like every artist has like their sort of medium, and I feel like the very best ones, like they always tap into a certain like theme. And my theme is usually women, you know what I mean? So like for example, like when it comes So when it came to like every song on there, literally is a different experience I've had with a girl, which is super. It makes it's like when you break it down like that, like it's very like that. But like also like when I think about it like philosophically, like I have a book coming out as well in regards to like the whole album. But basically the way I broke it down, it's like the very first chapter, the very first like page of the book basically describes what you is. So letters to you, when you break it down, you have the pronoun, which is you. Now, I mean, you represents yourself, but also the other person technically. So you is like the one word that when you say it, you're also speaking to yourself. Mm-hmm. So when you say you are great, you're not just speaking to the other person, you're also affirming yourself through that action. Then you have like you, which is like a female sheep. So it's like basically like letters to you, when I broke it down, was literally supposed to be letters to like a female sheep fundamentally. And so like, it's me, like this whole album is me dissecting different pronouns, trying to understand like what you is. How can I play with the word you and make it into something that's dynamically more profound than just simply me? You know what I mean? So so break it down again. You have 3 definitions when it comes to you. You have me, you have you, the other person, you have a female sheep. So that's fundamentally what this whole package is. It's just literally me talking to myself, me talking to like a female sheep or like a woman, hearsay, like the image, like creating that image in your head, and me also talking to other people.
And when you say female sheep, can you break that down a little bit more? Why female sheep?
Because like the idea is, so like when I think about the essence of the woman, when I think about the essence of femininity, I think about like soft, you know what I mean? Like submissive, like very like a sheep sort of. Not necessarily like a sheep because like obviously like I'm not equating women to sheep. That's not what I'm saying at all.
That's why I asked you to clear it up.
But like more so along the lines of like, I think about like this, like in the dynamic of like the yin and yang, like the light and darkness. Like when the light always leads the darkness, because the moment the light steps into a dark room, the light takes over the room. Mm-hmm. You feel me? But the darkness also leads the light, because the moment the darkness like covers the light's gone. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think about the sheep to be like the feminine. It's literally just the me describing what the feminine is. You know what I mean?
Word.
Who did the artwork?
My boy Nat. Yo, shout out to Nat, bro. He literally he created like this woman demon in like a water. Like he had like a whole illustration, like about it. Like on this letter from the illustrator video I had, which was like super great. Like seeing. Like, I think the hardest part is, like, really getting people to, like, tap into, like, the little elements. But, like, bro, shout out to Mona Lisa cover art. Shout out to, like, the letters to you cover art. Like,
did you sort of, like, give direction on that? Or you were just, like, just do your thing?
Yeah, like, I like to, like we were talking about earlier. I like to let artists work. You know what I mean? And then I like to be like, word, if you're working, like, this works, this doesn't work. Like, how do we make this better? How can we make it whatever? Why'd you do this? Because I feel like, Before I start giving my opinion, I feel like it's important for me to understand why. You know what I mean? And that's something that I'm just trying to work on a lot more myself. Like, so why did this happen? Why'd you do this here? You know what I mean? Why is it that you centered the face instead of like putting it on the side? Like what made you think about that? And then that alone makes it more tangible. Because instead of like, it doesn't feel like it's just music. You know, it adds like a certain layer to it, adds a certain lifestyle to it. And that's like I was saying, like that's the hardest part about making music, is like getting all those little pieces and whys and like basically packaging them, you know?
Yeah. I think also what I love about you is like you appreciate, we're talking about, by the way, shout out Damian Mejia. Mm-hmm. Shout out Dame. But we were talking about how you work with Dame, because I forgot, I think I asked you something along those lines, and that's exactly what you said. You just let Dame cook. Like when he hit you up originally with this video, he had a concept and you were like, word, and you just accepted his concept and you let him rock, you let him cook. And you know, obviously there's artists on both ends, whether it be the filmmaker or, you know, the graphic designer or the art or the musician. Like everybody works differently, you know, everybody has their own ego. I feel like that way allows everybody to be able to show their skills and feel like they can contribute to something. So I love that thought process, you know, like, yeah, I love, you know, even if you don't fuck with it, like why did you go that direction? I just want to understand, so I know I have that perspective to be, oh, okay, I see that, you know, so I fuck with it.
Hey, thank you. Like, I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's important that everybody that works with me, or everybody that like that embraces my energy, like feels like they are part of me, a part of my ecosystem. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's very easy to be like, word, man, we did this project. He's just a videographer, word. Or yo, like she was just an actor in my video. Like, why do I care? But it's like, I feel like those little variables are what make the project the best. I feel like one of my philosophies is like, how do you control chaos? You know what I mean? Because that's really what art is, like controlled chaos. You know what I mean? How much you control it? Because it's like, I appreciate abstract when it has like a sort of like channeling behind it. You know what I mean? Because like anybody could go across the fucking page and scribble fucking pencils on it, but it takes a very like controlled person to create a piece like Basquiat, who I didn't, bro. Shout out to one of my influences, bro. Like crazy thing is like I didn't realize how big his pieces was until I saw an actual Basquiat piece, bro. Like I understand why he was heralded so highly.
Yeah, I think I think like in high school when I first like saw, I learned through Basquiat by a movie, a DVD that I found that I was recommended to me by my film teacher. And at first, I gotta admit, like when I looked at the artwork, because I was still young, I didn't know like what was good art, what was bad art. I just saw his art, and I was like, "Yo, I could make that." Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing that came to my mind. But then you realize, like you said, like it's like organized chaos. It's like there is a mess. There's like messaging. There's some sort of something happening. It's not just like he's whoop. That's it. It's like there is a process and there is symbolism and there's all these things happening within his work that like if you're just judging it by this is not how traditionalists view what's good art or whatever like that, you're gonna miss it, you know. And so I'm glad that I was able. I saw the movie and I saw how he. The best thing that I saw about the movie is not just looking at the artwork, but looking at who he was as a person. And it almost helped me inform the art, like look at the art differently, because I knew he was a different type of person. I just had to get in to see things from his perspective to really fully appreciate it the way, you know, people appreciated it. Yeah. So I'm a movie guy, so that's how I got introduced to Basquiat.
Same.
But he's one of my favorite artists, legit. Like, you know.
Bro, same. Like I feel like the biggest thing with him and like with art nowadays is like we said that emphasis on why, that emphasis on the control, because that was something like it's really easy, like when you're just making music, it's like you don't always understand why things are there. Like you have to have that element of subconscious in there, but you have to be able to like scrape it off and be like, okay, this is what this means to me. You know what I mean? Give it some type of meaning, give it some type of life. You know what I mean? And that's like a lot of art pieces, a lot of movies, a lot of videos, a lot of pictures, a lot of things are just literally like things. They're not art. And that's the biggest thing. It's like, especially with music, bro, especially with music, R&B, we were talking about that earlier. It's like the genre in itself is very stale. Music in itself right now is very stale. Like it's very hard for me to listen to modern day music. Even old music sometimes it's hard. Because it's like everybody gets, way more hard now because there's way less variables. Everything's so perfect, perfectly auto-tuned, perfectly like mixed. Like it's like how do you get into that like why bag? How do you get into that actual aspect of chaos if everything's so structured and like politicized and just like perfect, you know?
So how do you, sorry, I'm gonna
No.
Just to follow up on that, like how do you make his like I was saying with Letters to You, like it's a lot of different like blends of things, and you have like, you know, the topics which are, you know, deeper topics. It's about different women. I love how you did that too, because it's like there's songs I think that everybody can relate to because everybody's been in relationships with different types of women, and so I'm sure there's things that, you know, at least one of those songs is going to be able to connect with. But like, so in terms of experimenting and finding the song for Letters to You, like what, like, can you talk a little bit about that and who you work with as well?
So the whole project was basically self-produced and self-mixed. Like just about everything on there was just basically written off of like the energies. And so like the key factors I worked with was Jerome. I also work with the AM Music Group, which is Owen and Artie. Shout out to y'all. I also work with Fill My Cup. Shout out to Fill My Cup. He's on Twisted Weekend. Amazing guy. So soulful, bro. And I work with Varun and Roberto Murillo, which are Roberto played bass on World Star Artists, and I sampled his bass on Friend Zone. And Varun is on the hook for Twisted Weekend. He's also on the guitar on World Star Artists. So basically, the process creating those soundscapes, like I said, the way I usually work, I usually get like an idea, and I just usually just push it, and I just let life take over. You know what I mean? Like I try to construct everything in a way where it's like, where it doesn't feel like I'm, like it's really hard for me to make music, especially since I'm a producer. I'm a sampler at heart. So like creating all those chords and creating everything like that, like I had to get like session players in there and be like, yo, I need you to play on top of my music so it makes it feels alive. That's something that I've recently gotten into a lot more. But like literally creating those pieces, like it's like, it takes me like a little bit, but like once it gets down to songwriting, it's very hard. It's very easy for me to be like, boop, 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 boop. Cause like I work in melodies. Like I wanted with this album, I want this album to be the first staple in my journey to creating music that's easy enough for a baby to chant it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's what Basquiat captured. It's like he captured the essence of a child. You know what I mean? And so like you have like Never Die, which is the hook, which is like dun 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 never die dun 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 dun. Like the hook is like very easy to like listen to. Like it's very easy. It's literally noises. Like I feel like that's all music is, and like fundamentally, like that was my process. How do I make noises into sound, and how do I take the sound and give it some type of life, and how do we create a pocket behind that sound, and then how do I add people to that pocket to make it come to even more life, and that's my process basically.
Beautiful.
I was actually going to ask about the live instruments, because I was like, it really sounds like live instruments. And obviously, right now, you can never really tell sometimes, because like the programs now and the samples.
Yeah, everything's
like, so I'm like, Mike, it really does sound like live instruments. So I was definitely curious about that. Are you going to do like a live band? You were saying you're having an event soon.
Yeah,
You're
a
gonna do
little show.
little show.
A little show. Like I want to. Definitely want to.
You're gonna have the band there and stuff.
Like the cool thing about me is like I want every facet, as my budget increases and as everything happens, I want every facet to be like a moment. So like when I perform these songs live, I want them to be their own thing. Like acoustic's different than a full band, because like I feel like a lot of artists just they go for the easy route, which is, all right, how do we just make it sound exactly like the record?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that, bro. It's
add some live flavor to it.
Yeah, like how do you have to create the pockets where the audience are able to sing along, the little aspect where like the drums and everything's coming in at once, the climax. You gotta make the little aspect where it's like you're just there, that's super beautiful, so that when people are tuning into it, it makes them feel like they're zoning out and they don't even hear you. You know what I mean? You gotta make those. It's an art, bro. Like you gotta sauce it up. You know what I mean? So like definitely can't wait to like season up the songs more and get like a full on band rehearsal going through with that. Like that's like definitely a big goal of mine.
Yeah. Actually, so when is that event? Do you want to plug that event?
So I want to. So this one I want to make it like I want to have it like in the next like probably like 4 or 5 weeks hopefully.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So basically, create this one. I'm probably gonna be partnering up with Shane, who's gonna probably be like helping me like compose that. I want to get my bassist from LA down here, so I want to figure that out with him, and just like really make it a point that like. Everybody, because like I do a lot of solo stuff. I'm very solo. I had to get out of that show because it's very hard sometimes for me to open up, especially with my music. Because like for so long, like I've been, especially growing up in Boston, it's very hard when you make something that's not rap or hip hop or like stereotypically like R&B. Like it's very hard for people to respect you. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like we don't get a lot of like R&B here, so like when you do get a record like this, it's like finally, like I'm waiting for this.
That's exactly
Like,
I was like, this was such a nice, refreshing like sound, because it's not something that you typically hear. You know, I'm not saying that everybody is like not original. Everybody's original in their own way, but there's the R&B aspect to it, like the soulfulness, but also the being able to not stick with what the traditional R&B sound is, and experimenting, and especially with the live instrumentation. And like you were saying earlier, there's a lot. I find myself like humming your songs. Like I don't know 100% know the lyrics, but I'm
I get the melody, you know.
Am I cute, baby? You know what I'm saying?
Which is my favorite song on the album.
Hey, that means a lot.
Yeah, that's a good song.
I love that song. That song, bro. That song was so, bro. That song, every time, bro, it's so hard sometimes because like I emotionally connect with that song so much. Like the thing with me is that sometimes I emotionally connect with my songs too much to a point where like I really relive those moments. Like I think I ended up breaking up with a girl after that song, and I just like was asking myself, yo, is love even something that's meant for me? You know what I mean? Like I remember
that all the time.
You know, you know what I mean? Like you get out of like a relationship or like you get out of something. It's like you're asking the world like, is this something that's possible for me? So like I have a line in there like where it's like, I look at the sky and I wonder, why can't I go home? You know what I mean? Which is like, yeah.
Honestly, it's almost like, you know, Kid Cudi, I think the reason he's so popular with his music is because he says lines that people really kind of like hold on to and kind of like they feel. That line is amazing. That anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. Like it makes sense because like that line, like not a lot of people like really talk about. I'm a say it, but I'm a censor it, but like suicide. You know what I mean? Like nobody's talking about suicide like that. Like you guys get what I'm saying. You guys get the gist. But it's like. Cause like literally like the way most people think about it, it's like they think about it like as something that's like you actively had to go through. But it's like more so like for me when it comes down to that idea, that topic is very much like what am I a feeling of displacement, which you find a lot of people that deal with like situations like that feel. You know what I mean? And so like growing up religiously, it's like I'm asking God, like, is this when do I come home with you? Like, is that where I'm supposed to be? Because and like as dramatic as it sounds, like I know we could all relate, like a lack of love, especially in a world where you don't really fit in, where you don't really feel like you fit in, really does make you question if you're even meant to be here. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I also like I traversed throughout this whole project. Like Mona Lisa's like me like going through and like talking about my relationship with bipolar disorder. Like how do I deal with that while also like smiling? So like the whole song, like people love that song. People are like, oh shit, this is
my favorite song. It's my favorite song.
You know what I mean? This is such a groovy song. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. But like literally, it talks about like traversing like that emotional plane.
Yeah.
Because the whole song emotionally is balanced, but it's like emotionally not. Because you have like a moment where it's like, my brain feels foggy. So it's like, okay, his brain feels foggy. Boom. Boom. And I start talking about like what I'm thinking. And then it's like, oh, what's going on now? Oh, bro. Oh, wow. What's going on is that he's just standing now. What's going on? But like, realistically, the reason why I wrote it like that is because like when you're dealing with like so many different emotions, so many different pockets, like being bipolar, it's not a matter of like being erratic. Like a lot of people forget that it's not erraticness, but it's more so a matter of like too much on one side. So one time you'll be like way too happy, another time you'll be way too sad. But like through it all, you'll always feel that consistent like life heartbeat, which is like the reason why the beat always feels so jovial, feels so happy. Yeah. Like I want you to feel like you're like going, like you have bipolar disorder, listen to that song. I want you, when you listen to that song, like you just zone out. Cause that's how a lot of people react in the first listen. It's like, it's very much like, oh, wow. Okay. And then you hear the lyrics like, oh, he's literally talking about struggling.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, I mean, the whole record, I feel like is like that though.
Yeah. You know? Like literally that like darkness. That's what I'm talking about.
Darkness, but there's like so much light with the production and stuff. So like,
Never Die is another one where it's like, it's a great, that one I think is the record. If you play that one at your show, I will be dancing into that one. But that one is extra groovy. But yeah, much of the same. Like there's some warpness to it. It's like you're dancing to it, but it has a deeper meaning.
It's a very confusing. Like you're like you don't know how you're supposed to feel.
Yeah, you don't know how you're supposed to feel. But like that one is literally me having a conversation with a girl and going, "Yo, like, is it really wrong to have a one night stand?" Like, it's just me and you spending till the end of time. Baby, don't you want that one nights are a real life crime? One nights are a real life crime, bro. Like, they're not really that bad of a thing, you know what I mean? One nights aren't that bad, you know what I'm saying? We can live and love this world. No, fuck, I'm fucking my lyrics. Like stars, stars, we won't ever die. We can live this life like stars, we won't. It's like literally me giving this girl that I met, like, cause like I like way back when, like, you meet this girl at this party and you're just like, why are you over there by yourself? You know what I mean? Standard conversation. You by yourself? Why you alone? Ain't no one else dancing out there on the floor. Baby, it's your man. You know what I mean? Like you're like sweet talking her. Yeah. And then Jerome comes in, baby, tell me what's your favorite dude that'll make you feel, baby, midnight snack. Blah, 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 blah. So he's basically talking. He does a great job. And the crazy thing is we didn't think about that. That was literally just like, bet, I got some lines, you got some lines, let's figure this shit out. And yeah, like how do you, it's supposed to just be an entanglement. How do you create a piece that talks about the entanglement while also giving her the chance to feel like she's a star? You know what I mean? So yeah, never die. We won't ever die because stars, they never die technically.
Yeah, we just got our own like personal event, like live event. That was dope.
Yeah, y'all look better.
So in terms of, so we got the show coming up this Saturday. I forgot what day that falls on. What else? I know we're all excited. We were just talking about how, you know, we've just experienced a year of COVID, and everybody seems like is excited to either perform if you're an artist or go to a show if you're not an artist. Do you have anything else planned, or what's your 2021 looking like?
My 2021 like it's hectic. Like I'm trying to do as much as I can in like a span of 2 months. So it's like I want to like. Cause I'd love to leave Boston, cause I want to move. I want to move down to LA again. I want to really establish myself down there simply because of the fact that I feel like it's really hard. It's really hard to not have the level of warmth that I need as a person to like really breathe. You know what I mean? Like I think that's been like my biggest fight. It's always been like, why do I feel weird? And you go down to LA and you're like, bro, I'm not the only one that's acting like this now, bro. Like everybody's just mad happy and cheerful and shit. So it's like I'm trying to do that, and we're also thinking about like making a big. I want to do like a cool biggest show. You know what I mean? Drop a book. I want to drop a book like.
Ooh, that's right. Tell us about the book.
Yeah, so the book's called Letters to You, and it's like a series of journal entries I've had creating the whole album. And I wanna it's basically it's like a philosophical journal. You know what I mean? I talk about like the beauty of being a baby. You know what I mean? Like how soft the foot feels in the hand of the mother as she breathes in her child's air. You know what I mean? And how all the hormones around the child just basically creates this like aura of love. You know what I mean? That you get from the mother. You know what I mean? The father. And I talk about life. I talk about like justice. I talk about pain. I talk about misery. I literally just traversed through everything that I was dealing with while creating this album, and basically put into a whole thing which gets you thinking. You know what I mean? Cause like, I don't know. I just thoughts. Just be thinking. Literally, bro. What I do for fun, yeah, bro. I just talk about life and the truths that I think are truths, and basically try to prove myself wrong every day. So I do have an audible version. It's already written. It's already recorded. And the cool thing about the audible version is like it's different than the actual book version. So like I said, I like to breathe life into every different aspect of it. So like. You'll hear different minute versions when you hear me speak it versus when you read it yourself. And like I'm gonna package it like it's gonna come out soon whenever we get like everything organized in terms of like me being stable, in terms of me being like on like a flat line, not having like a bunch of shows coming up and whatnot. But like yeah, like it's coming out hopefully it's gonna come out towards the end of this album cycle.
Word. And what's it called?
Letters to You.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let us to you the album. Let us to you the book. I'm gonna get the book, but I'm an Audible guy. I just like to listen, especially if you're narrating.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm a get the Audible version as well. And in terms of, sorry, Critter, did you have a question?
No, you can go.
I feel like I've been go ask a question. I feel like I've been taking this whole shit.
Well, my question's more. It's just like a fun question. Like, if you're talking to somebody that's never listened to your music, how do you explain it? Like elevator pitch it.
Yo, my elevator pitch, I always say simple is better, bro. I always say, yo, bro, do you like Frank Ocean? Word, me too, bro. That's usually what I aim to make when I fucking listen to music. You should listen to my music right there, you know. And I usually just pitch it off like that. But like that's like the very like 15-second, like 5-second. You're in the elevator, yeah. I relate to Frank Ocean a lot, but like if I get deeper with that, I go, yeah. I usually I like to blend a lot of genres together. I like to ask questions. I answer questions in my songs. So if you have any questions, bro, I'm the guy that tries to answer them regarding love, death, and happiness.
Word.
I love it.
I feel like I should have asked this earlier, but now I'm curious. In terms of, because we're talking about how there's not that many like R&B singers, and especially like creating the kind of like original content you're creating. In terms of singing, though, how did you like talk to us about like how you vocally like kind of got to be the singer you are?
Yeah, so honestly, like, so it's funny because like for the very early part of my journey, like my friend told me I could sing, and I remember we just used to practice singing every day, and like it wasn't that my mom just does not stop singing. If she ever see, Mom, you do not stop singing. Like, bro, I'm talking like 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, just puts on her gospel music, just screams all day, every day. So basically, like I grew up in a household where like singing wasn't weird. You know what I mean? So like basically that. And on top of that, like really early on, like I was saying, really early on in my journey, I used to hate autotune. Not because I hated autotune, but because I just didn't understand it. So like I would be like, I had this one song. I had, bro, a lot of my songs, like, bro, I just was like, yo, I need to be a singer. Like that's what I do, bro. Cause like even production, like I produced a whole album. Like I'm a singer first, you know what I mean? Like I never really considered myself production, but the production is like, I had to get good at it because like nobody was gonna do it for me. Like I remember actually he used to work with this guy, D Pride. He's super popular now, bro. He has mad like fucking gold plaques. But I knew him from college, and I was like, bro, like, could you make me a beat so I could try to sing on it, bro? And he's like, nah, man, like I don't know. He said no, and I was like, okay. I went on Fruity Loops. I was like, beep, 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 beep. I'm make my own shit. It don't sound good, but you know what? Who cares? and up until I started working in the studio, they taught me how to properly mix my stuff down, how to get better at it, and ever since then, melodyning, auto-tune. But yeah, just like really, I go for more. I like to aim for more soul. More soul. So as long as your soul is hitting, bro, you may not hit the note the best, but we got products for that, baby. You feel me?
It's almost like a blend between like you're very both philosophical, it seems like, and soulful at the same time, and that's a great blend, especially for some R&B.
Yeah.
Over some little dancey beats, man. You got it all. You got all the layers. You got like
little layers.
Like a 5-layer burrito of fucking love.
Yo, shout out to Taco Bell, bro. I fucking love Taco Bell. Everybody freaking gets disgusted. I'm vegan as hell, though. Bro. I fucking love Taco Bell, bro.
What do you get from Taco Bell as a vegan?
Crunchy Wrap Supreme, bro. No cheese, no sour cream, and no meat. Beans, baby.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I love get some guac in there with the Taco Bell hot sauce, bro. Yo, you just
that hot sauce is what makes it for real.
Yeah.
Bro, oh my God, bro. I love it, bro. Oh man, I love a good burrito.
I love that the workers always grab a handful and throw it in the bag.
Yeah, bro.
Because they just don't give a fuck.
What you need. I put that shit in my fridge, and then I be putting on all my eggs afterwards. I put on all my sandwiches.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna be. I'm telling you, if I ever open up a recipe, the secret recipe is gonna be that Taco Bell
bro,
sauce. I'm gonna get a bunch of packets, start putting it on shit.
Yo, bro, cooking with thoughts. Got it soon.
I think that's all the questions I have. I guess I'll leave it to you to plug away one more time on shit that you're working on. Where can we expect you?
Yeah.
All that stuff.
So far, just stay tuned. Like, follow me on Instagram. The algorithm isn't very nice to nobody. The algorithm has been messing everybody up recently, but like I do my best to keep my Instagram as active as possible. I think I'm starting to lean more towards TikTok a lot more because like it's refreshing because like I don't really do too much on TikTok and I just do A/B and I'm like getting like 900 plays. I'm like, whoa, I have no followers, I'm still getting plays, dude. Cool. So yeah, like I think I'm leaning a lot more towards TikTok. I'm not as active as I was on Twitter because like it's not the same.
Cesspool.
Yeah. Oh, bro, it's
Twitter's like it's crazy.
I lurk on Twitter. I appreciate the information on Twitter, but it seems like whenever I like go out of my way to like post something that gets any sort of looks, it's always like people trashing me. So it's like,
bro, I've gotten into so much trouble on Twitter because I say like I think a lot. You know what I mean? I think a lot, and so like sometimes like my thoughts, as uncontroversial as they feel, like I feel like the worst thought I had that literally like caused me the most drama was literally I was like, yeah. So honestly, I feel like I said something about hedonism. I was like, we're stuck in a hedonistic society right now. Literally, people are forgetting that discipline is the biggest key to self-love. You know what I mean? I tweeted that out. Check out my Twitter. Check out my Twitter next moment. I got like 30 or I got like 300 likes or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Someone underneath is like, yo, but self-love is whatever you make it. And you hate people. Like, you can't tell people what self-love is. It's not your place. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, it's literally like a mindstorm. So like, it's really, Twitter is not a safe space for free thoughts anymore.
Nah.
Yeah.
Bro. 2013 Twitter though.
See, I was late to Twitter, so I never got to experience the Wild West. Like, people tell me about like the old, like early Twitter, how crazy it was. I was like, I was always like, because anytime I got used to one social media, like I went from MySpace and then everybody went to Facebook. I'm like, I just got used to MySpace. And then it takes me like a year or two to finally get back on that wave.
Yeah.
Then I'm on that wave. Now Twitter's I gotta get fucking used to that too. Like, I have to take a class.
Now
to learn
there's
how to use
TikTok,
this shit.
you know,
And
so.
then, TikTok I haven't quite grasped it.
Yeah.
Like
I don't quite
sometimes
understand it, so.
I don't. People tell me like once the algorithm really finds what you like, it's fucking fire.
Bro, it is so good. Yo,
Yeah.
it's crazy, bro. But yeah, like, I think social media, as beautiful as social media is, like, nowadays, like, people are getting more, it's like, it's super weird. People think they're in a stronger position right now, but like, people are just getting weaker. And it's just super weird. Like, you just seen a lot more weakness in the society, a lot more loose patches. No, I mean, I just do that because I compare us to like our relative 60, if you go back 60 years, bro, the person that was 60 years ago to the person today, on a scale of 1 to 10, which one's stronger? You had the person that was growing up in the 60s, which is stronger than the person that's growing up in 2021, which is super weird. You got all this technology, everything in front of you, got all this information, but what is it? You find that too much information just weakens the person. Because all that does, when there's too much information, that leaves too much room for a lot of disinformation. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
You have a podcast?
Yeah, I do. Space for Growth.
Let's talk about it.
Yo, Space for Growth. That's what me. It's literally it's a bro podcast. I say this, bro. It is not for the easily offended because we say everything. And like 9 times out of 10, literally, like, we're just cutting everything out of that podcast just because of how reckless we get. But like I always tell my boys, I say, yo, disclaimer the podcast, because this is literally just comedy. It's like think about a guy podcast. You know what I mean? Like, we're dicks out, everything going in your hand, bro. It's like that's literally what it is. It's literally just me and the boys just fucking screaming, talking about women and going, yo, bro, like girls, bro, we love girls, man, but they don't like us. Would you buy a girl a Birkin? And I'm the oddball. I'm like, yo, I'd buy a girl a Birkin, but that's like $200,000. Why not, bro? If I'm Jeff Bezos, bro, I'm buying her a Birkin. Who cares? It's just $200,000. But what about people you can feed $200,000? I'm sorry, bro. I can feed them. If I have $200,000 spent on Birkin, I have $200,000 spent on people, bro. Like, let's be real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't gotta be greedy. I don't think that as a good question. Do you guys feel like it's greedy to spend $200,000? Or when you have an excess of $200,000 to give?
I think it's greedy to spend. Well, first of all, what you spend $200,000. I think it's greedy to spend it. Mm-hmm. I think it's greedy to spend it. Yeah, that's what I think. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I would just invest the 200.
Yeah, that's what I would
double
do
up,
exactly.
and then.
That's exactly
But
what I would do.
if you have Jeff Bezos money,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, if you have Jeff Bezos money, I feel like
Is it greedy to give it as Jeff? Because Bezos is giving it, but he's doing it as a tax write-off. So
Yeah.
is it really giving, or is it like really kind of like helping?
that's what I'm
his
saying, and that's the question. Like, how much giving? If you're giving for an outcome, is it really worth it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I find that the world works better when yes. You know what I mean? Like, if more, who cares? Who cares if people are walking down the street giving a homeless person $10 or $100? I think, why are you mad? Yeah.
There was one time I was pretty mad though.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. There was one time where I was in was it Einstein Brothers, one of those like,
Mm-hmm.
coffee spots. I was going to Emerson at the time, and this dude who's like he had to be like 17.
Mm-hmm.
He got in line behind me. He looked poor. He looked homeless. He looked hungry,
Mm-hmm.
and he tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, "Yo, man, like, can I get just some money for some food?" And he good actor. Maybe he went to Emerson. I don't know. But I was like. Okay, absolutely. Like you're in line, you look hungry. Like I've never been so sure I should give you money before my life because you seem like this is a good place to give you money. Yo, hand them $10. I turn around because I was like second to next in line, so I turned around to see what I wanted. And I turned back around, this dude was gone. He left the door, he was gone.
Dipped.
I was like, he's buying fucking drugs, motherfucker, man. Oh, I was so angry.
You're so pressed,
bro. I wanted to get my phone back so bad. I want to chase him down the street. I wanted to, as he's making the exchange, I wanted to grab that money, grab the drug. I was so fucking mad, bro.
But like, think about like
it should have been my weed money. That should have been my weed money. What the fuck?
But it's like, think about it like this though, right? You made someone's day. You know what I mean? Like you did as bad as drugs are, quote unquote. I put that in the beautiful quotations because I feel like that's a lukewarm thing. I don't feel like it's anybody's place to necessarily say what they should be doing with their body. You know what I mean? No matter what happens.
Just don't do it on my money.
Yeah.
I put drugs in my body, not you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like it's a blessing. Cause it's like you don't know. It's like I was watching Mr. Nobody recently.
I gotta watch that.
Bro, amazing film. It's basically a fucking film about it's how do you fucking the question is how do you put chaos theory and the butterfly effect into one piece and make it make somewhat sense? And literally the movie does not make any sense. I'll be honest with you. Really? But it's like it doesn't make any sense, but like the beautiful ending, the ending is beautiful. It's so watchable. It's so beautiful, but the ending goes, yo, it doesn't matter what choice you make. Just know that no matter what choice you make, it's a choice. It's going to end either way. You know what I mean? And that's such a beautiful thing to linger on because it's like you chose to give him the $10, but you don't know how far that $10 goes because you know, like what if you got him so high that literally next thing you know, he fucking goes, you know what? I'm fucking tired of struggling about asking anybody for shit. You know what? I'm going to go and work. You know what I mean?
So.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's
like you giving him that money makes me think of the Joyner Lucas like music video. I want to know where that money went.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Like that's what I want to know. It's like where did that money go?
Like what happened with that money? Who that money cherished? You know what I mean? Like you don't like. There's just so many variables in life. You know what I mean? It's so easy to look at the one variable and be like, "Fuck, I'm $10 short. I had to work another fucking 10 hours to get that $10."
There was actually that Joyner Lucas music video actually. You know, you guys don't know, well, you know Kevin. A friend of mine, we were going to write this movie that was pretty much exactly the plot of that Joyner Lucas, like, Keep It 100 video, which is like, this homeless person finds like, I don't think I said a but this person gets like $100 and that we track where the money goes and we see all the evils that money exchanges hands to and like everything that it does. And anyway, by the time when we started the idea, we were like early 20s and had no idea how to execute that idea, but then Joyner Lucas came up with that video. I was like, okay,
Did it make a movie?
Beautiful. One day. It was one day. It was one of those ideas that like it was so long ago that I kind of like it just never worked out. And I just moved on with my life.
Bro, like that sounds like a fire ass movie, bro. Like. Bro, don't sleep, bro. I got a bank of movie. If you don't want that idea, I'll take it. Like I'm dead serious, bro. That sounds like a good ass movie, bro. Like fucking tracking a dollar bill, bro. And like even it doesn't have to be like a fucking hour long. It could be like 30 minutes.
Just because see where that money goes, like the struggling family that has to like use that money to split it into like gotta feed 5 kids with this like dollar or whatever.
That's so
and then
powerful.
That same dollar later on goes to the strip club, and then that same dollar later on goes to, you know what I'm saying?
That's so powerful. I'm digging that idea. That's just so that's so beautiful.
Yeah. But yeah, when Joyner did that, I was like, man, he cucked me. Okay,
got you.
But yeah, maybe
it's an idea, bro. You should, bro. I feel like the world needs that content. You know what I mean? Like that is. I'm sorry, that's so beautiful, bro. Like that made me happy thinking about that. Cause imagine that shit in a fucking movie. Imagine who you could touch with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's a beautiful thing about art. It's like no matter what, like. You don't know who could be inspired by it. Because who knows, like you make the movie and then someone goes, oh, that's a great idea. They make another movie off your movie. Then they go, oh shit. Then you make the next Bill Gates. It's like, what the fuck, bro, off of your fucking movie? Yo. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously, yeah. If you guys at home take it, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
We just bleep out that whole like story of like you saying that.
I'm kidding. Anyway, bro, it was amazing talking to you. I might as well wind down now. But letters to you Definitely check that out. The book and the album, both great. I mean, I haven't gotten to the book yet. I'm sure it's going to be great. The album itself is absolute fire. My Compiled Thoughts, thank you so much for coming.
Yes, sir. Let me give a little shout out. Shout out to Caesar, shout out to Damien, shout out to Ray, shout out to Gio, shout out to Phil, shout out to Jerome, shout out to Artie, shout out to Carl, shout out to Josh, shout out to John, shout out to Studios, shout out to everybody, shout out to Sapphire, shout out to Christelle, shout out to everybody, bro. Yeah, all y'all know y'all my family. Shout out to Ed, shout out to Chris, bro. Shout out to Damien. I'm going.
D, shout out to D.
Yes, sir.
If you guys fuck with us, if you like what we do, you make sure you comment, you like, you subscribe, and you share out. Absolutely support My Compiled Thoughts. Listen to Letters to You. Go to his show. Just show some love, man. We
if you have time,
love, so yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have time, even
make some time.
Make some time. Make some time if you have time. You know what I mean? Leave a little comment, like my picture. You know what I'm saying? Give me a heart. I love hearts. You know what I'm saying? We with it.
All right, y'all. Peace.